The year was 1912. The largest ship ever built, the RMS Titanic, was ready for its maiden voyage. Excitement filled the air. Passengers and crew alike boarded with dreams and hopes, unaware of the tragedy that awaited them. Little did they know, this journey of luxury and promise would become a haunting tale of loss and courage. On April 10th, the Titanic set sail from Southampton, England. Its destination, New York City, across the vast Atlantic Ocean. The ship was a floating palace, a marvel of engineering and elegance. Its passengers were a mix of society's elite and hopeful immigrants, all drawn to the promise of a new life. The first few days were filled with laughter, music, and the thrill of the open sea. First-class passengers enjoyed lavish dinners and danced the night away. Below deck, families huddled together, sharing stories and dreams of America. No one could have imagined the terror that lay ahead. The Titanic was the epitome of luxury and technological advancement. It was over 882 feet long and weighed over 46,000 tons. Its builders proudly proclaimed it unsinkable due to its double-bottom hull and watertight compartments. Inside, it was a floating city. Opulent dining rooms served gourmet meals. A grand staircase connected its many decks. Passengers could relax in a swimming pool, Turkish bath, or even a gymnasium. For its time, it was unmatched in size and splendor. However, despite its grandeur, the Titanic had a crucial flaw. It carried lifeboats for only half its passengers and crew. This oversight, based on outdated safety regulations, would have devastating consequences. The unsinkable ship was about to face the unforgiving reality of the North Atlantic. On the night of April 14th, the Titanic sailed into a cold, starlit night. The sea was calm, but the air was bitterly cold. Warnings of icebergs in the area had been received throughout the day, but the Titanic maintained its speed. Confidence in the ship's strength was absolute. At 11:40 p.m., tragedy struck. Lookouts spotted an iceberg directly in the ship's path. The alarm was raised and the engines reversed, but it was too late. The Titanic grazed the iceberg along its starboard side, ripping open a series of gashes in its hull. The unsinkable ship had been wounded. The impact itself was subtle, felt by some as a slight shudder. But deep below, the icy Atlantic began to flood the ship's compartments. The crew rushed to assess the damage, their faces etched with growing concern. The unthinkable was happening. As water poured into the Titanic's compartments, Captain Edward Smith realized the gravity of the situation. Distress signals were sent out into the night, hoping for a nearby ship to respond. The order to uncover the lifeboats was given, and a sense of urgency filled the air. On deck, confusion reigned. Passengers, many still unaware of the danger, were roused from their sleep. The band played on, their music a haunting melody against the backdrop of growing panic. Officers loaded women and children onto the lifeboats first, following the maritime tradition of women and children first. Fear and desperation gripped the passengers as the reality of the situation sank in. Families clung to each other, their goodbyes filled with both hope and despair. The lifeboats, lowered into the dark, icy water, offered the only chance of survival. Section 5. Into the lifeboats. As the lifeboats were lowered, scenes of both bravery and chaos unfolded. Some passengers, overcome with fear, refused to leave the ship. Others selflessly gave up their spots to allow others to board. The crew struggled to maintain order amidst the growing panic. One by one, the lifeboats were filled and lowered away from the sinking ship. Each boat carried with it stories of hope and heartbreak, of lives saved and lost. The cries of those left behind echoed in the ears of the departing souls, a haunting reminder of the tragedy unfolding. In the lifeboats, huddled against the cold, the survivors watched in disbelief as the Titanic slowly began to sink beneath the waves. The lights of the unsinkable ship, once a beacon of hope, were swallowed by the darkness, leaving behind only the chilling silence of the open sea. Section 6. The depths below. As the lifeboats drifted away, the Titanic's fate was sealed. The ship, once a symbol of human ingenuity, now succumbed to the unforgiving power of nature. The once brightly lit decks were now plunged into darkness, the joyous music replaced by the terrifying sounds of metal groaning and the screams of trapped passengers. The Titanic's final moments were agonizingly slow. The ship's stern rose high into the air as its bow slipped beneath the waves. The hull, unable to withstand the immense pressure, finally broke in two, sending the ship's remains plummeting to the ocean floor over 2 miles below. In the icy depths of the Atlantic, the Titanic found its final resting place. The once luxurious cabins and grand halls became a watery tomb for over 1,500 souls. The unsinkable ship had sunk, taking with it the dreams and aspirations of countless men, women, and children. Section 7, Whispers from the Deep. News of the Titanic's sinking sent shockwaves around the world. Disbelief and grief spread like wildfire as the magnitude of the tragedy became clear. The unsinkable ship had sunk, and with it, the belief in human mastery over nature was shaken to its core. Rescue efforts led by the RMS Carpathia managed to save over 700 lives, mostly women and children. The survivors, forever marked by the tragedy, arrived in New York City to tearful reunions and a world grappling with the enormity of the loss. The sinking of the Titanic led to numerous investigations and changes in maritime safety regulations. The tragedy highlighted the need for adequate lifeboats on passenger ships and improved communication and safety procedures at sea. The disaster served as a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human life. Section 8. A Legacy Unsinkable. The Titanic, though lost to the depths, left behind a legacy that continues to resonate today. The tragedy serves as a haunting reminder of the human cost of hubris and the importance of vigilance and preparedness in the face of danger. The stories of the passengers and crew, both those who perished and those who survived, continue to captivate and inspire. Acts of bravery, selflessness, and sacrifice emerged from the chaos, painting a complex portrait of humanity in the face of unimaginable tragedy. The Titanic, forever enshrined in history, serves as a solemn reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of hope and resilience. The unsinkable ship, though lost beneath the waves, continues to teach us valuable lessons about safety, responsibility, and the enduring spirit of humanity.